Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start as soon as we have our live stream ready. Huh? So.
Oh, we will have to repost it on our site. I'm sorry. This morning, yesterday I was ready for this meeting. I was here at night.
Very brief in everything I do. Good morning, our esteemed media colleagues. Here with me today we have Joel Simpson from SASOD Guyana, Meglin Braithwaite from the Guyana Trans United. My name is Melina Harris and I'm SASOD's Human Rights Coordinator, and we have Melanie McTurk, the President of Visit Rupununi. So you would be aware that we're here to sign this SASOD Guyana, the Guyana Trans United, and GIBO. Today we have Visit Rupununi, and I'll open the floor for Melanie to give us brief remarks before we commence the signing of the memorandum. Melanie?
Morning, and thank you very much. Good morning, all. You guys all right?
So it should be fine.
So it's very exciting for me. I'm currently in Georgetown promoting Visit Rupununi's 13 Values of Wildlife-Friendly Tourism. Rupununi is known both locally and internationally for our untethered, unique nature, wildlife, and culture, and for being the premier destination within Destination Guyana. We've built a reputation for offering quality service at every budget point in the tourism spectrum, and for hospitality that is at its core warm and personable. As we position our industry for continued and inclusive growth, we're committed to the ideal that hospitality and an opportunity to connect with nature and wildlife is something that clearly should be for everyone. As humans, we all seek out destinations that treat us with respect, make us feel safe, make us feel better about ourselves and better about the world around us. With this in mind, we feel it is important that the Rupununi continue to equip itself with the skills and knowledge to appeal to the ever-growing market base, and to ensure that all visitors to the Rupununi, regardless of who they are treated with equal respect and consideration. But this is not just about a core belief that human rights are for everyone. This is also good business. It is estimated that before the pandemic, the pink economy was worth in the vicinity of $3.6 trillion worldwide, and that LGBTQ travel market was alone worth $218 billion worldwide. The LGBT community in the US alone spends 10% of its purchasing power, again, nearly $100 billion every year. One contributing factor is the high incidence of DINKs, that is double income, no children unions, which gives this particular market segment a 10 to 15% greater purchasing power, which is often expressed on luxury goods, services such as restaurants, clothing, and of course, luxury travel. Research also shows that this population and its individuals are particularly aware of the need to feel safe when they do travel. But as a group, they pay attention to the brands that pay attention to them, that treat them with respect. Through our collaboration with the LGBTQ Coalition, we will be taking the first steps to ensure that the Rupununi is a region that is safe and welcoming to all persons, regardless of race, class, or sexual orientation. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. Just an earlier correction to what I said. I mistakenly misspoke when I said that the Guyana LGBTQ Coalition was comprised of GIBO. GIBO is clearly not here, and I meant to say SWAG, so my apologies for that. And SWAG, too, is clearly not here, but we'll move on. So now we'll turn to the signing of the memorandum. Miglin will sign for the coalition, and Melanie, you'll sign for Visit Rupununi. So I have the document here.
There are 2 copies.
I have 2 copies.
You have another pen?
Oh, I want to move the mic. So
Oh.
really.
Sure.
You want a pen, Melanie?
Yes, please.
Oh, I don't even have a special pen.
Hold on. So they could get.
Oh my gosh. Did someone take some?
Guys ready?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now we'll take some closing remarks from the Managing Director of SASOD Guyana, Mr. Joel Simpson. Yeah.
I was going to say, well, maybe it would be easy if we just swap seats.
Oh, switch seats? Okay.
Because it's better visibility as
Okay.
well as not having to move the mics all the time.
Like savages. Such hard work.
Oh, it feels low. That'll work. All right, everybody could hear me? All right, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, everyone watching our live stream on Facebook and YouTube, good morning to you all. Thank you for coming and participating in this historic signing of the first memorandum or agreement between the Guyana LGBTQ Coalition and a tourism-based organization in Guyana. We describe this as historic because this is the first time that this is happening. We've had many partnerships over the years, over the last 19 plus years with private sector in Guyana, but none specifically with the tourism sector or tourism-based organizations. And I think this is really important for many of the reasons that Melanie highlighted in her opening remarks. Guyana is, I would say, losing out on significant income that we could gain by the reputation that our countries in this part of the world have for being homophobic and for having homophobic laws on the books. What a lot of LGBTQ travel advisory services tell people first when they're considering where to go in terms of destinations is what kind of laws those countries have. Specifically, they're very popular web-based applications that LGBTQ people use to meet other LGBTQ people in the same localities. And when you arrive in Guyana, the first thing that will pop up is a warning that says Guyana has laws which criminalize sex between men. And because of these laws, these policies, the lack of protection, high incidence of hate crime and violence, and slow responses, and in many times inadequate mechanisms for accessing justice, our countries are missing out on a huge opportunity. But we recognize that while we work with all the various stakeholders at the state level to change these laws, we also have to capitalize on the opportunities as the society itself is changing. Certainly, from a business perspective, the private sector understands that there's no room for discrimination because money doesn't discriminate. When you make money, you don't make gay money or straight money. And that pink dollar and that pink economy that Melanie referred to in her remarks is specifically the contribution of LGBTQ people and their spending power, and that's the term used to describe that. So we thought it was very important to start to work with Visit Rupununi, especially in the context of them being the first tourism organization of their kind in Guyana that brings together businesses who work in tourism from a specific sub-region, all working together under the banner of Visit Rupununi. And one of the things that we've experienced during the pandemic as well over the last, in the first 2 years when travel opportunities were also limited, is that LGBTQ people themselves were traveling within Guyana more. And I know that from anecdotal reports and so on, persons had very good experiences in the Rupununi especially. So we also see this as an opportunity for people to feel comfortable and to be able to travel safely as Guyanese in Guyana and learn more and see more of their own beautiful country. In addition to that, I want to say that all of us will benefit the more inclusive our society becomes in every single sector. And this is something that Guyanese believe, that if we allow everybody to participate in the economy, we allow everybody to work, everybody to earn a living without discrimination, all of us will benefit and all of us will experience development. And while there's a lot of focus on oil and gas and the petroleum economy, we know that that sector doesn't last forever. And one of the sectors that we've had that is growing and that will continue to grow and that has a huge amount of untapped potential is the tourism sector. So we want to see the benefits of tourism, and we want to support the linkages that come from the benefits of tourism, and see also LGBTQ-led businesses benefiting from this partnership that we've started here today. One of the first practical actions that we're going to take within this fiscal year, within this calendar year, is to work with Visit Rupununi to train a cadre of trainers from Visit Rupununi on LGBTQ issues, gender and sexual diversity in the context of customer service and tourism. So that cadre of 15 to 20 trainers could also do retraining within their own businesses and within their member organizations of Visit Rupununi. And that's one of the very first practical things that we've agreed to undertake, and it's detailed in the MOU. I think I want to cap it there for the morning and allow the media to ask questions while SWAG's representative joins the table. Savannah Williams.
Yeah, let's throw it out. Feel free.
Yes, Vajani.
Hi, morning. Just a few quick questions. I know you just mentioned the training for people who can become trainers as well. Can you perhaps give us an insight of what else is included in the MOU? What does this partnership really look like? On Visit Rupununi's end, can you perhaps talk a bit more about why you opted to do this with SASOD? And SASOD also, can you tell us perhaps if you engaging other tourism organizations at this point in time and what's the progress on that?
You want to start?
I'll deal with the VR question.
All right. Yeah, you want to go with it first?
All right, well, let me start with maybe from the Visit Rupununi perspective. So the reality is, we've already experienced and we already receive a number of persons from within the LGBTQ community in mainstream tourism. The reason we felt this step was necessary is because many of our members have reached out to us and said, look, we've had very good experiences, but we're concerned that we don't have the right skills, we don't have the right tools, we don't know the correct language, and we don't want to be giving offense to any of our guests. And so this was a mechanism for us to help enhance our preparedness, because as Guyana opens up, as our tourism sector is poised for exponential growth, right? as more people come to Guyana, it is clear that there will be more representatives from within this community who are coming to our region, and it is for us to be equipped to manage that and to make people feel safe. Our business is hospitality, to make people feel welcome.
Yeah, and just to share a little bit about some of the specific actions that we'll undertake as part of this partnership. In addition to the training, which we think is fundamental and an important starting ground, SASOD commits to undertake to developing travel service within the organization to help to shepherd LGBTQ tourists especially who come to Guyana to other services which are friendly, and to help to promote other kinds of local tourism services. So we're talking about booking local tours and working with other local tour operators. This is the start of that partnership, and we're going to be working with Visit Rupununi to develop our own capacity to do that, because obviously we're not a tourism-based organization, so we have to learn and develop skills and do training and so on. So that's an important part of the MOU. In addition to that, we've committed to supporting each other. Visit Rupununi will also direct LGBTQ travelers to the coalition partners, GAIBO, SWAG, SASOD Guyana, as the case might be, because a lot of the times when tourists come, they also want to meet their local peers. So when they finish touring the Rupununi and so on, they might be going to Georgetown, and they might want to know, are there any gay parties that we can go to? Are there any LGBTQ-friendly clubs in Georgetown, in New Amsterdam, in Linden, or wherever else that they might be visiting? And while Visit Rupununi, as a Rupununi-based organization, won't have all of that information, that's where the networking with SASOD Guyana's travel service and also the local partners. In many other countries, part of what's done when tourists go, especially these LGBT cruises, when they go to particular destinations, they actually visit organizations and learn about the work that they're doing and find ways how they can contribute. They might want to donate on the spot, they might want to come back later, specifically related to tourism, and have them engaged to do training with us when we have other kinds of programs as well. So we started a conversation with Guyana Tourism Authority about the Pride Festival specifically, and then COVID happened, Pride Festival became virtual. I think we're going to reinitiate that conversation later this year and early into next year about how we can be supported and really get the Pride Festival as an official activity on the tourism calendar for Guyana. That's where we want to see it. We want people to be able to come to Guyana specifically for Pride. And this is another important offering that we see for the tourism sector in Guyana. And many people are very interested in particularly going to Pride festivals in the global south. And we want to be able to do that and to be able to earn foreign exchange for the country, get more support for activities coming all over the world to visit Guyana.
Just one question for me. Like you said, persons overseas have this reputation of Guyana not being very LGBT friendly because of our legislation. How much do you think this will limit the impact of the initiative?
It's a challenge because poor legislation is a fact. And discriminatory legislation in the books is a fact. And the applications and some of the apps that I spoke about that alert you about the laws which are discriminatory, and the fact that also, not just that the discriminatory laws, the reviews will also share that there are no laws to protect you if you experience violence or discrimination. And this has also been one of the issues that SASOD has been advocating around, that we need to include sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression in the Prevention of Discrimination Act as a starting point. If we have existing anti-discrimination legislation, let's just include these grounds. We're not asking for new laws specifically. So that's a limitation, but part of working together is going to be to promote that services that we are vouching for, that we are highlighting, are particularly friendly. And that's why we're starting with training. From experience, we believe the Rupununi is a safe, inclusive space But like Melanie says, nothing is ever perfect. So we want to be able to do the training.
Yes.
And so we can say, these particular places have been trained by us. They're certified. You can go there and you will see a certificate on the wall that this particular business in the Rupununi, this particular destination, this particular activity is LGBTQ friendly. And the staff there have undergone training with the Guyana LGBTQ coalition. So we think once we promote that and market that, we are going to be able to counteract some of that. But it's no escape for also changing the laws. That's also very important. In addition to that, I forgot one other point from the MOU, which your question raises. We've committed to working together to mobilize resources to be able to deepen and develop this partnership. So this first MOU is a start, but we don't see it as being static. We want to also be able to find resources to market the Rupununi as LGBTQ friendly. So now that we've signed this agreement, some of the immediate steps that we're going to take, we are going to reach out to an international LGBTQ travel service called LGBTQ Travel Planet, and to get Visit Rupununi listed there. So when people are searching these databases, searching these international websites for places that are gay-friendly in South America and that sort of thing and so on, Visit Rupununi and Guyana will pop up. So those are some of the kind of practical things that we'll do to counteract that reputation that we have.
And I would just add that, remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Everything, one dot you just make down. Over time, we shall get there.
Are there any other questions?
No hard questions, no concern, man.
All right, I guess if I'm sitting, as I'm sitting in front of the mic, I should close. If there are no other questions, I want to thank you very much for coming, and acknowledge as well again Savannah Williams from SWAG, who had just joined us near the end of the sign-in ceremony. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.